Hello again, Jeff, Dead Drift Consulting. Had to change the location due to a failing camera battery. I'm shooting this with a Sony a7R II, and for those of you that know that camera, one of its biggest downfalls is battery life, and well, that one kind of bit me in the ass. So, continuing on with my discussion about the various pack models from Kifaru International. This is the current do everything, all-purpose, I can't think of anything it can't do pack system for me. This is the Kifaru Crater. The Crater is 8,000 cubic inches, and it borrows a lot of the genealogy, the family. I can't even think of the words I'm trying to find right now. Anyways, it's very obviously this is part of the Kifaru pack line, and you can when I go through this, you'll see some very strong resemblance to other packs in the previous versions, like the Argali and the Reckoning and the Tar. So right now it is completely compressed, and I left it this way. Right, it's got there's a 45-pound weight vest inside of it, and I've strapped it up tight and compressed everything so it stays sucked up against the frame, and I use this to train with in the hills. But I wanted to leave it in this condition to demonstrate the fact that an 8,000 cubic inch pack on a 26-inch frame can compress down enough to where you can use it as a day pack. Okay, so let me turn this thing sideways. So right here you can see the profile or the cross section of it right here. So this is the shoulder strap of the frame itself, then the pack, and then here's the outside edge of the surface. So I don't know, I'm going to guess about 4.5, 5 inches, somewhere in there, between the actual shoulder strap, not even the frame sheet itself, but the shoulder strap, the padded shoulder strap, and the back of the pack. I've got it compressed down to about 4 inches. And this is with, again, it's with that 45-pound weight vest in it. So I'm going to pull that vest out, expand the pack, and then we'll be able to see the features of what makes this pack kind of special and the go-to for me personally. Give me just a second here. All right. Now that we're out of that beast. Alright, so you see me unbuckling all these compression straps, and right now when it's all like this, it looks pretty strappy, but this is far from their strappiest in the history of the company. Like most Kifaru packs, we have 3 compression straps down each side, so those compress, suck the whole pack in tight to the frame. 3 on each side. And then on this one we have 3 that go across the middle, and the unique thing about this is these three compression straps work independently of the side compression straps. So the side compression straps would be to compress it on this axis, right towards the frame sheet itself. Excuse me, suck that entire load closer to your body while you're wearing it. The center compression straps compress the pack on this axis. So because they're independently adjustable, that gives you a degree of versatility and customization in how this pack is actually configured and sitting on your body. It gives it a degree of that's unheard of, or well, maybe not unheard of, but unique. Because in the past, like on the Tar that I talked about before, it had those 3 compression straps down the side, just like the Argali, but it didn't have a compression system on this axis down the center. So another thing that makes these center compression straps very handy is when I'm trying to lash something to the back of the pack. For instance, my bow. If I'm hiking a long distance and I don't I don't intend to or have an expectation of encountering anything to hunt, and this is the most efficient way to carry it, then that's accomplished by using these compression straps. And quite honestly, on the newer, whatever the hell it's called, hood something, they've even modified these compression straps in the center to be even more versatile and work better for that specific purpose, lashing a bow or a rifle or a paddle or a frickin' tree, a ground blind, whatever the hell it is, makes it it's a better solution to just a buckle and a strap. One of the really nice things about Kifaru in terms of the evolution of just minor components is the fact that every single side release buckle on this pack is an auto locker, which is hugely important especially when we're talking about compression, because the last thing you want to happen when you have something heavy, bulky, large, whatever in this pack is to tighten this strap down and then have it loosen up as soon as you put it on. Just the stress of moving that weight around, whether you're putting it on, whether you're moving, hiking, negotiating some tricky footwork stuff like maybe a boulder field or a rock slide or getting around trees and whatever else, jumping a creek. You don't want these things to suddenly like loosen and now the load rides differently than it did before. That can actually lead to injury, which is not, that's if there's a reason to end a hunt, it ain't getting hurt because your fucking buckle slipped, right? So that's super important. Like the Argali, which was my last really big pack, and one that I really liked. Like the Argali, this is just a large sack, okay? An 8,000 cubic inch gigantic sack. What makes this functional as just a sack is the fact that down one entire side, unlike the Argali did not have this feature. Down the entire right side of the pack, we have a full-length zipper that opens up the main compartment. So, of course, this allows you access to something that otherwise would be extremely difficult. If you're trying to get something, an extra pair of socks that's at the bottom of this pack, and you got to go in from the top, well, that's like a major undertaking because you're more than likely unpacking half to 3/4 of what you got in there just to get a damn pair of socks, and then you're restuffing the pack. So what should have taken 5 minutes has now taken a half an hour. So that and this is a two-way, so you can zip it all the way down and zip from the bottom, or personally I like to keep them in the center so that I can access either way. So we have that full-length zipper down one side of the pack that allows access into the main compartment. On the other side of the pack, again, unlike the Argali, Kifaru has given us a separate sewn-in, what they call a spotting scope pocket. And this will certainly hold a spotting scope, like the largest out there, maybe a friggin' 95 or whatever. I don't know what else is out there. What I own is a Swarovski fit 80 mil, and it fits in here along with an Outdoorsman's compact medium tripod, a pair of thickly insulated Kuiu gloves, and a puffy jacket. All of those things will fit into this outside compartment. And now that's kind of a big deal because it allows you to compress this pack down like it was before in day hunting mode. So maybe let's say what you got in there is rain gear, kill kit, lunch in the main compartment. Stuff that you're not going to need right away, okay? So all that stuff is in this main compartment. You've compressed the pack down completely. Now some of those more immediate need items like a warmer pair of gloves, a jacket to glass in, your tripod and your spotting scope, all those things can fit in this easily accessible side pocket. Run the compression straps over it so it stays nice and tight and doesn't flop around, and then when you're ready you just pop those two buckles, unzip this thing, and out it comes. I think the newer version, not the newer version of this, but the another pack that's built along these lines has these sewn in spotting scope pockets on both sides of the pack, and then the main compartment access zipper, I believe, runs down one off center, one edge of the face of the pack. So you still have all that easy access into the main compartment, plus the usability of another one of these, which you may or may not need. I mean, just because it's got two of them doesn't necessarily make it better. It just makes it, in some people's circumstances, a better solution. So consider what it is you're going to carry and how you're going to carry it before you make that decision, along with volume. Okay, because the other one is not 8,000 cubic inches. I think it's closer to 55 or 6,000, somewhere in there, 5,500, 6,000, whatever. This one's 8. It's pretty huge. So I zip that back up. It's bellowed, so you can overstuff it, and it'll expand with it. Okay, so 3 compression straps down each side, 3 down the center. There's 2 on the bottom that actually are sewn into the same straps that come up to secure the lid, which in this case, I don't have an external lid on this. This is the snow collar. And again, borrowing some great ideas and some awesome innovation off of the tar and the argali, the snow collar itself has built-in loops, sewn-in loops with, hang on, my knees are starting to hurt. Oh, now I'm kind of low on the camera, whatever. It's got sewn-in loops with female side release buckle ends, so that fits those straps straight into the straps that hold the lid down. So it turns the snow collar into a lid, and that was on purpose. They've sewn in tab loops just like they do here on the face of the pack. They've sewn in 4 tab loops on the top of the snow collar so that I can do exactly what I've done here, which is attach a large belt pouch to the top, and it kind of creates a lid without having to run the 1,200 cubic inch guide lid and the extra weight associated with that. So in here right now I have like a first aid kit, a rain cover for the pack, whatever else, some odd doodads, whatever. Those 2 things are something that I want access to like very quickly, so I keep that up there in that. This is the 26-inch duplex frame, which for my height is a little long, but based on a conversation regarding frame fitment that I had with Aaron, this was the solution that he suggested. So at a 5'8", 175-pound man, the 26 is technically too large, but for how these frames fit my body, this seemed to be the best solution in order to get as much usable space out of the load lifters as possible. Kifaru's fitting instructions and the information, personal information they ask from you when you order is pretty spot on. It's very close to what is ideal for, you know, what your torso length is based on your height and your inseam and all that nonsense. However, once in a while, you get a weirdo like me with some sort of body ailment, whatever hell it is. Dimensionally, I guess I don't fit the norm, which is kind of comical to me. But anyways, this is a 26-inch Duplex Lite frame. So the Lite frame has the 1/8 inch frame sheet, I believe, and the Ultralight has a 1/16 inch frame sheet. Pretty sure that's how it works. Anyhow, everything is adjustable on the frame, which can be a pain in the ass and a little bit overwhelming if you're not sure what you're doing. But once again, Kifaru's customer service and their ability to answer questions and help you out is invaluable in this. And they are more than willing to take the call or answer the email or whatever to help you get you set up correctly. At any rate, the shoulder straps are adjustable in length. These are the load lifters. I've got 1, 2, 3 different attachment points for the load lifters themselves, depending upon how I want them to, the angle at which I want them to sit. It's got this large lumbar pad down here, which is removable if you're not into this gigantic lumbar pad. I think they might even make another one that's a little smaller. but I've never had an issue with the one that just normally comes with it. And then their hip belts are the best in the industry as far as I'm concerned. Although I can't really qualify that because it's not like I've worn every damn pack in the industry. But I'll say this, like this one works fantastic. And relative to some other packs that I have tried on, I don't know that there's a better solution. But at any rate, this is the hip belt that's designed to fit on the iliac crest of your hips, which is, most of you probably know this already. Whatever the percentage is, 60-70%, I think. 70% is supposed to be right on your hips, with the remainder on your shoulders. If it's hanging off your shoulders, it's going to kick your ass in a hurry. And that's certainly not something that I want to deal with, having been through 4 shoulder surgeries and a partial replacement of my left. Like my shoulders are my Achilles heel. So anyhow, really good waist belt. The way that they've improved, and it's been several years already, but they've improved the way that these buckles work so that the cam is back here. So when you're tightening it up, you're pulling in towards the center of your body, towards the giant side release buckle, rather than away from the side release buckle, which a lot of the waist belts have cams that are on the buckle itself and not separately. It's not something anybody really thinks about until they put the damn thing on and they try to cinch it tight around their waist and they realize it's really not working very well. It's a little bit of a fight. These work much better and allow you to get the belt as tight as you need to. So on the left side, I run this Nalgene water bottle pouch, which I found to be very handy right here on the belt. And then I run this little tiny, I don't remember what they call it, side pocket maybe, something like that. But it's a small, vertically oriented, zippered top pouch. And what I normally carry in here is the Sterapen and a tourniquet. So both of those things sit in here right next to my water bottle. Both are something that, one's something I use all the damn time when I'm sterilizing water, and the other is something I'm going to need pretty quick if the need arises. So that's the left side of the belt. Right side of the belt, I run a small belt pouch, which for my waist size, which usually hovers between 30 and 32 inches. For my belt size, the small belt pouch is really the only one that's going to fit well. They're all the belt pouches are the same width, with the exception of the large. But the medium and the large are also like deeper this way. So this stays out of my way. And in here, I will usually carry, like I've got an extra camera battery, which, had I known that was in there before, I probably wouldn't have interrupted the other video that I already started. But this is a little phone scope style adapter from the Outdoorsman's that I use on my spotting scope, wind checker. There's a small multi-tool, some honey stinger energy gel, whatever. I'll also run like a small 5-shot revolver in here as well, which I've never had to use, but it sure feels good to have around. That'll fit in the small belt pouch as well. You configure it how you want it. That's the beauty of this kind of versatility and flexibility, is the ability to customize everything. So grab handle on the top. There's also a grab handle on the bottom, which has been advertised as a good place to put the bottom cam on a bow if you're lashing that onto the pack, which I have used, and I've used it in that manner, and I like the fact that I can strap the bow to the pack in that manner. But I will be honest with you, I like having something that fully and like covers or protects the cam when it's on the back of the pack, because I found when I'm putting it down on something or whatever else, if I don't think about it, that cam and that string and that serving that runs over the underside of that cam winds up in the dirt or rubbing against something that I don't want. I don't know. The string and cams are something that we as bow hunters like really kind of pay attention to when it comes to regarding like protection of or concern for, right? We don't want that string and those cams to get dinged up or whatever. I don't want little pieces of dirt working their way into that string, so that every time I draw or release that bow, now it's acting like a little abrasive on the interior of that string. It's the same kind of care that you would give to climbing ropes. That's why, like cardinal sin, dude, stepping on a climbing rope is, it's like a giant, it's like a safety violation on the range. So anyways, I give those cams that kind of attention, and with that in mind, there have been times where I have run a belt pouch, and I've tried different sizes. I'm hoping, Aaron, Frank, come out with a pouch that actually fits a cam rather than just sticking it in a belt pouch. Whatever, it's just an idea. But I've run a small, medium, and a medium belt pouch down here on this MOLLE webbing at the base of the pack just to stick the cam in, and support the bottom end of the bow. But anyhow, MOLLE webbing, or two rows of MOLLE webbing around the bottom edge of the pack to mount those belt pouches to, or whatever else. These tab loops that go up the center, just like I described on the tar. You can run belt pouches stacked 3 deep up the middle. You can run that spotting scope pocket, that big long tube looking one, spotting scope pocket up the center here, and then maybe belt pouches on the bottom. Whatever you need to do in order to make it work for you is what one of the big advantages of all these packs in the first place. So it gives you that versatility to figure out and work it out however you want. But this is the new hotness for Jeff at Dead Drift Consulting. I've used it already. Packed out a mule deer in a couple months ago, 3 months ago in January. Using it, it's worked fantastic. Like, I have no complaints. Like, there's really nothing. I could come up with that bottom cam pouch idea all day long, or stuff like that. But in terms of improving what they're doing, like, I don't know. I'll give them input if I think about it, but it's not something that I put a lot of effort into, because really that's their job, and they're the experts. Like, I'm a nobody. One last thing I wanted to touch on before we end this. It appears that all of these packs recently, in the last couple of years from Kifaru, have been featuring the sewn-in meat shelf at the bottom of the pack that attaches to the frame and allows you to carry meat between the frame and the bag itself. This is no exception. This has got one as well. I think it's a simple addition for a high-demand item, and if that's what it takes to convert somebody from brand A over to Kifaru, is the addition of, a small little sheet of Cordura with a couple of 3-bar sliders on there, and so be it. To me, I haven't used it yet, but I guess I'm glad it's there in case I do. So anyway, this is the big boy of the stable, and it's the final one that I'm going to actually talk about. I would encourage you to look at Kifaru Cast's YouTube page for specific videos that are considerably shorter than my talkative ass at 23 minutes and 45 seconds. Considerably shorter than this, that gives you as much or more information straight from Aaron or Frank. So I'm going to shut up now, let you get on with your day. I appreciate you tuning in and watching this. I know you got a choice, and I'm not some internet celebrity superstar. I'm just a regular guy doing my thing in my own freaking backyard right now. But if you have questions, if there's something I can help you with, Jeff at deaddriftconsulting.com is my email address, and then deaddriftconsulting.com is the website. Look me up on Facebook and on Instagram, primarily on Instagram. I've got pages on both of those platforms, and I'm constantly putting up photos and whatever else of some of the stuff that I'm doing and things that I think and have fun with. Okay, so check us out. Thank you for listening. Appreciate your time. Have a great day, and take a look at Kifaru.